Hello. Hello, everybody. Nice. We are live, ladies and gents. We are live. Sound check. Should be fine. Right. Nice. Markets are tame, bouncing back from the lows of the day. Oof. Crypto crashing. Well, not crashing, but coming down. BTC. See here. There's massive moves. Hopefully it holds for now and the panic is done. Dun, dun. All right, so first in the docket we have the FOMC meetings. Yo. Mike, how you doing? Man, it's good to have you here. Do you have any money on NVDIA? Sending the love. Ooh. Alright, top chat. No, we need live chat. Let's do that. I don't think I have that many people to be having top chat. I just welcome everybody. You see, Mike, you need to do stuff like this, dude. You have? Damn, and you're holding tight. It's gonna be interesting for sure. I think 9:20 is when they're expected to come out with earnings, which is gonna be an interesting one for sure. Interesting one for sure. Just double check my mics. Should be good. Yeah, it's gonna be a tricky one for sure. But what's the withholding tax? What's withholding tax? Sure. Shouldn't get charged. Yeah, that's fair. Growth. That's the reason growth is also very beneficial, because I mean they're taking away what? I think if you're in the UK they take 15% of your money, which is absurd. Absurd. Yeah, like I don't mind paying tax because you're making money, you know, but if you can maximize, like if you can benefit without actually changing your returns, then why not, right? Like NVIDIA has shown crazy growth, you know, so you make your money back in the growth and then you're picking capital gains on that. So as long as your income is not too high, you actually get beneficial rates on that amount of money. All right. Mr. Guy is talking. Let's listen. This is the FOMC meeting minutes. Let's go here. What to say? Damn. Yeah, I know. 35 sucks, dude. 35 sucks. All right. A minute away before we get the FOMC minute.
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
So seeing the release of the Fed minutes here. So all participants at the Fed's meeting agreed that the rate setting committee was in the position to proceed carefully. All participants judged it was appropriate to maintain the target interest rate at the same place. So all participants agreed policy decisions at every meeting would continue to be based on the totality of incoming information. Participants judged it appropriate to maintain the rate So participants judged that maintaining a restrictive stance would support further progress towards goals while allowing time to gather additional information. Participants noted that further policy tightening would be appropriate if information showed that progress to the inflation goal was insufficient. Noted that inflation had moderated over the past year but remained unacceptably high and well above the 2% target. Participants judged demand and supply in the economy continuing to come into better balance. Participants noted there had only limited progress in bringing down core services, excluding housing inflation. Participants judged that maintaining restrictive stance would support further progress towards goals while allowing time to gather additional information. Participants saw labour market conditions as tight but had eased since earlier in the year.
This shouldn't move markets too
Fed
much.
Minute staff's economic forecasts were similar to the September projections. So again, Fed staff's economic forecasts were similar to the summary of economic projections released in September.
But yeah, short term it didn't act too
Many
much.
participants saw measures suggesting that long-term Treasury yield increases were driven by a rise in term premiums.
You're buying treasuries at all? I'm looking at a treasury ladder right now, trying to figure out if I can
Participants
actually
stressed
get
the
that
need
done.
to see more data indicating that inflation pressures were abating to be more confident of prices increases or more confident of price increases, returning to the 2% target. So looking to the markets, nothing sustained following the release of the FOMC's meeting minutes there. So the S&P still down around 0.22%, the dollar up around 0.15%. So going to see a little wick down on the S&P there, but nothing sustaining.
Treasuries are holding tight. The 5-year and the 10-year steady, the same yield. Ooh. 4.5 right now the treasuries are paying. Like the longer end of the curve. If you go 3 months, 6 months at 5.3, not bad returns. Holy smoke. Yeah, but cash like short term is not bad, right? Like depending on what you're thinking, right? Like I'm a little bit into the group of people that says
So
that we
Fed
have a
data
recession coming.
expectations are a little changed following the Fed minutes. The first rate cut seen likely in May
Yeah,
2024, fully priced in for June 2024 as well. So again, this is according to Fed Watch.
like people are calling out a recession by May. That's the reason they're seeing the interest rates get cut. I think that they're probably gonna stay steady for the remainder of the year. Yeah, no, you benefit from that. That's definitely sure. But then that was the other thing that I was thinking, right? So I was like, what if you buy some treasury bills and instead of like letting them mature, you just sell them? That's capital gains right there. But you ensure the 5% return and then you don't have to pay the 15%. That's like kind of getting away from the tags. That was the play that I was thinking
We've
about.
also posted out the full FOMC meeting minutes on the feed for anybody interested.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think so. It's like for like a little while you're trying to figure out where to put your money. Not bad. Like right now there are places with value, but it's gonna be hard to figure out those out. It's like a little bit like getting something instead of nothing is actually kind of nice. Yeah, well, Interactive Brokers does give you access to it, which is kind of nice. They do give you access to pretty much like treasuries anyway, and pretty much most of financial products. Yeah. Right now I'm sitting on options. I have options on the NVIDIA trade. So if it goes my way, good. If it doesn't go my way, it's gonna be ugly tomorrow. Because the implied volatility right now it's high. And the time decay on those is massive. So it'll be an interesting it's definitely today is the day to be paying attention, you know? Want to go over probably like the last announcement and see how it performed and how it behaved. Because it's right now it's moving around 500. I think it reached like 510 the last couple of days. 10 minutes. Yeah. Yesterday we were sitting at 505, 506. Well, right now, you want to see something nuts? Here. Like I bought some 450 options. I bought 2 contracts. And I sold at 100% returns on those contracts. Like not all options work like this. They are extremely high risk, right? So they're like my part. They're capped in my size of the portfolio. But right now I'm sitting on 550% returns. I've lost 50% returns in the day, but I'm still sitting at 550% returns on it, which is kind of nice, you know. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, like the thing was like I knew for a fact that the stock was gonna rally to earnings. You know, it's been doing that for a while now, and it just some of the things that it was coming down for, it was just market dynamics more than anything else. So I wasn't too worried. And then when it hit 400, which was the low of like it was like I think it was the high of the last earning before the last earnings. I was like, like we just got massive returns on this stock, and now you're gonna say that it's worth less? I don't think so. So we definitely get the bounce back. Today we buy into the close. This is what's gonna happen. We buy into the close, and depending on the forecast or the guidance of the company, we go nuts. We have to see how China impacts everything. And if it's too much and they start sounding a little bit bearish towards the stock, sell it all. Get out of the position as fast as possible. But if it goes up again, because the thing is they're probably gonna beat. If it goes up, we're probably gonna sell today as well, and then potentially try to rebuy back in a couple of months, like in a couple of weeks. Cause like,
So following the release of the minutes there, S&P 500 is extending declines now. It's down around 0.3%. Dollar up around 0.25%.
what's the VIX doing? Yeah. So you see, it's like this was the last earnings, sitting right here. Stock went all the way here, and then it went all the way down, 23%, 25%, right? And right now the euphoria is still here, and the fact that markets has been rallying like they have, like earnings were better than expected. A lot of people were caught outside of the market. A lot of people sold out, and then we're seeing a rally. So the question is like, how big is the rally? Because we were sitting that day, I think here, somewhere in like the 450, like I think it was like 420, right? When we bounced from it, you know. So far, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post it. Get on Discord, you know. Get on the Discord, get the cameras set up. I have the thing to get 2 people talking at the same time. It is the way to do it. Binance right now is scaring me though. They're not letting me sell my crypto. That is scary. Scary, scary, scary. So yeah. Oh yeah. So I think CC just like just that. Yeah. Insanity. So crypto's gonna be moving like crazy in the next couple of days, that's for sure. But right now, all the eyes are in the Binance and the FOMC meetings. So most traders are. Nice. That's a lot. I'm looking to upgrade. Black Friday deals, you know? I'm looking to upgrade and see what's up. I'm waiting for the Revolut Black Friday deal, which they haven't posted, and I'm kind of scared that they're not going to post it, but I need that right now. Really good exchange rate. I mean, it's okay. They have a spread, but it's not too bad for the amounts that we're looking to trade, like to exchange. See, they're showing weakness, but it's like, it's not nothing solid, so I'm not too worried. It's all on NVIDIA. It's all on NVIDIA. Market right now is, this is NVIDIA. This is the whole market. Insanity. Damn. Did you upgrade? You have to upgrade graphics cards, processor, all that stuff. Yeah, you told me, I think you told me you were like talking to a guy to do it. How did that work out? You happy with it? Zero drop frames. I'm like, my PC is solid. The problem is because I have so many screens, it's starting to have issues. Like, makes me so mad. I'm looking to upgrade a little. I want to upgrade this Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It's easy plan, but we shall see. We shall do the eToro pose. Oh man. Holy. Yeah, there's a lot of selling. There's a lot of panic selling here, but I don't think the FOMC, it would be interesting to. They give them to you a little bit later, so you have to pay for the service, which is nice. They do give you the information, but yeah. PCE remains elevated. Not good. Question is there anything, any red flag, any major red flag that actually. We say the same thing over and over and over again, but then they change like a couple of things and the whole market goes nuts. You know? Profile on eToro. Insanity. CC pleads guilty. Oh man, it's anti money laundering. So that's the only thing that like still hasn't made me fully panic. Thought about like not streaming potentially, but like it's anti-money laundering. Like HSBC dealt with that stuff, right? They all deal with that stuff, right? Like there's a ton of money, right? But as long as you don't spook everybody, it's fine. Like the U.S. gets paid, right? Like why would you go into America, like into the States, if you're doing that stuff and you're not doing the proper checks and everything, right? That's why nobody likes like banks in America. You don't want to deal with them. So yeah. Oh man, scary times, scary times. See, this is when I wish I had the freaking cold wallet ready to go. Ooh. NVIDIA sitting at 500, which is nice. But if I look, oh man, currency's bouncing back. The euro's a little bit lower, but the pound's holding strong. Treasuries are holding steady. Nothing major. The 30 is playing 4.5. The question is would it be a good idea to buy? Guaranteed 30 years of 4.5% returns. With a little bit of money, wouldn't be that bad. Oh well. And you get paid if the interest rates come down. Oh man. Sounds good. Hopefully market stabilizes a little bit and nothing. Try to sell. Whoa, we're still early. It's still like, I want to open up here. I'm gonna open NVIDIA. There. Really. Hmm. Just go here. Press releases. There we go. Let's do some work. Oh man. And we want to see this number way up. That's what we're looking for right now. This number to go way up. Market is bouncing back a little bit, but there's definitely profit taking before the numbers come out because it. All right. This is what we're hoping for today, and we should get this. I think the release date. When was the release? We have our news aggregators. We have everything ready to go. Yeah, either today we go party, and I don't have to work for the rest of the week, which would be nice. Or we have to solve issues, which we probably have to anyways, just because I need to figure out the Binance thing. Figure out what they're gonna do right now, because people are starting to freak out. Oh man, let's have a look at Twitter 2. Let's just see what developing with it.
See, Hunter, no, okay, no Hunter. Let's see. You know, they are so careful to talk about election stuff, but I'll type it in. Nope, no election. Electric vehicles. I don't think the word vehicle is mentioned here. No, it's not. Some of these are just silly, but they're also kind of funny. Israel. Imprint on foreign financial markets.
20 minutes before the
Basically,
conference,
nothing
about
has
what we could
occurred.
expect to hear.
However, it
is there
could cause
anything that could change things that they could mention in the press conference, or is it going to be pretty standard, tapping each other on the back? But Travis, my question to you is what that means for the markets and how does that compare to your expectations?
Yeah, Mike touched on it just for a second, but in terms of the kind of, you hope that they have all of the money. That's why I think it's going to be very interesting to see what type of monitorship capabilities are immediately put in place or may already be put in place. If if the U.S. Department of Justice is now running Binance.com's KYC department, then there may not be the ability, right? There may already not be the ability for some types of, non KYC, gray, black market money, whether you're on some list, all this kind of stuff. You
Okay,
may
it is
already
bouncing
have
back.
the ability to remove assets from Binance. And so that's going to be one of the most critical things. That,
Sorry,
at least
say
so
that.
far.
Can you expand that point again? Can you expand on that point? So what do you mean you won't
Yeah,
have the ability to remove your
I've
assets
talked
from
about it.
Binance?
I've talked about it here before, where it's like if there's a five, it goes back to like, do you think Binance.com has all of customers' money? But if there's say a $5 billion hole in their balance sheet, but there's $10 billion worth of gray and black market money that is unable to move off of Binance.com, then there is no hole. The hole never gets found out. And the manner in which withdrawals are going to be processed, immediately today and in the coming weeks and months is still, as far as I know, not. We don't know how that's going to look right now. I don't think they've said anything about that. If somebody's seen that somewhere, correct me if I'm wrong. but that'll just have a very significant impact on, you know, what happens with.
But how long do they usually have to pay such a sum, such a large sum? It'll be over many years, or it has to be within a short period of time?
I think I saw something about within 18 months. I think I saw that.
That's pretty tough.
But
And
don't quote me on that.
just to be clear, guys, they're not going to accept Tether, right? So like they're going to have to pay it in dollars, and they did put dollars into Twitter. You know, they invested with Elon Musk $500 million into X, and so they have several times in the past had billions of dollars of cash. But I think, you know, given that it wasn't originally a fiat denominated exchange and it really mostly accepted crypto deposits from the beginning, you have to be somewhat skeptical that they can actually come up with $4 billion of cash without crashing BNB or any of these other sources of collateral that they might have.
But that would have been priced in. I think the market is pricing in that they have enough cash. BNB is sitting at -3% for the day, so it's about the same as it was.
Mario,
was a bit higher earlier.
I got to be honest. That's there's just no way anyone could know right now what the true solvency situation.
But I'm sure. You know, I think there's insiders would have an ID. Correct me if I'm wrong, but generally insiders would have an ID and that have enough big enough pockets that they'd lead the way.
Insiders at FTX knew there was a problem, and FTT tokens still traded at $20, $30, $40, $50 until it suddenly traded at 30 cents. So again, I'm not saying at all, Mario, that that's what's happening at Binance. But if you give the market too much credit in this type of market, like, you're deluding yourself. Nobody knows, except for maybe CZ, whether they actually have the liquidity to pay $4 billion. And keep in mind, by resigning, CZ is no longer responsible for that, which is a very convenient thing to do right before you have to pay a large fine that you may not.
But he has equity. So I don't know if he'd agree to that deal if he didn't have
equity in the exchange, which is illiquid. There's no active market for Binance shares right now. So
but he does have a lot of BNB tokens on a personal level as well. So I'm saying he has an incentive to make sure he doesn't accept a deal that would bankrupt the company.
There's also the FTX Chapter 11. That's another $2 billion.
But I mean, this is one of the interesting things.
The FTX estate still hasn't gone off after that. We don't know what they're doing.
Holy smokes, guys! Everything is currently developing.
If they're giving him a deal that resolves all of these open charges, and Janet Yellen and Merrick Garland are about to get up in front of a bunch of people.
Man, the CC Binance thing, if everybody's watching right now, insanity, boys and girls. Everybody, welcome. We're gonna be doing NVIDIA earnings, but that's not happening for another 2 hours. So if you have any questions, shoot them in the chat. Let me know what is up. But yeah, man. Right now, cryptos seem to be bouncing a little bit back. They seem to be stabilizing, which is nice. They still are not allowing... Oh, my options are fine, dude. I am not worried about my options at all. Not right now, at least. They're getting better. That's for sure. This goes up. This goes up, my options values go up. Which is good. Which is good. You know? I bought ARM. I sold ARM. Did I sell it good? Let's have a look. I didn't sell it good. I sold it cheap. I sold it today. I didn't want to hold too much risk, but then I sold ARM because it will get moved. It definitely has a correlation with NVIDIA, whether we want it or not, just because it's still a chip stock, but it's likely to be punished, I think, more than NVIDIA. I think yeah. It finally went back. I've been buying it as it was coming down, and it now has come back. Qualcomm is okay too. I'm not too fussed about Qualcomm either, but I don't hold any. They're all the same, right? They're all following this some sort of the same. They could do better, but I mean they are getting better because servers are definitely getting a lot of love right now. Anything that has to do with servers is getting a lot of love. So I definitely see them coming up in the near future. But again, everything lays on the current AI story, right? Buenas, saludo. ¿Cómo estamos? So that's what I'm thinking right now. It's the longer the AI sort of boom continues to go, everything's going to start benefiting. The question is, when do we start seeing cracks? Is China the thing that breaks the glassware? Is the supply chains that breaks the glassware? Like, it's hard to know. Well, the question is like you have to consider it's like who is available right now to invest. Because the thing is, for example, the NVIDIA chips. Everybody wants the NVIDIA chips. Like they can get like I heard in like one article that NVIDIA or AMD or whatever you can offer, they're gonna buy it. They're gonna max and buy it. Like it doesn't matter because they need to just invest in infrastructure, invest in infrastructure. Right now, they're not even looking at the figure because then
This
they're
new
just gonna
NYMEX
offer
32
tag on,
crude
right?
January futures selling at $77.70 a barrel, which is down 6 cents or 0.08% on the
You know,
session, close to flat.
so that's where potentially is like, I don't like the fact that crypto is moving so. It's not a lot, but dodgy. But that's the thing, right? So the big question goes to whether what was I talking about? Yeah, chips and like who can come up with it the fastest and who's gonna like what software people are gonna learn, you know? And how is it gonna be available? Like ease of use is gonna be very important, right? If companies are gonna start producing AI software, it's like, okay, how can you incorporate it within the group of tools that you already offer, right? And Microsoft is already in a lot of companies, right? Offering like the Office tools, Word, Excel, all that stuff, right? You just tag it along like a Copilot, it's going to be massive. The benefits could be insane, right? So that's where it's like right now it's a race for who can get the best product and the most consumer friendly product in order for people to adopt. Right? Like if you go to, for example, ChatGPT, the things that you can get done with ChatGPT are pretty insane. And if you're somebody that knows how to use it and somebody that knows how to take advantage of the knowledge that you have and incorporate it within the model, like software, like coding and all that, all those stuff, it just 10x is the person that's behind that, driving that tool, right? In this case, like the way that I see it, which is pretty nuts, is the fact that you can see, right? Like I was when Nvidia was making the graphics cards, right? They were in reality making real estate for games, real estate for analysis, real estate just things that you can create within computers, right? Then all of a sudden is like they start making chips, and now you're not making real estate, you're making laborers. You're potentially making other people that are listening to you and actually following what you're doing, and you can ask him questions like a human resources person or an HR person or another coder. You know, it's like the level of usability is endless, and that's only one side, right? Then you have like data analysis, like running in like going into Excel sheets and figuring out how you can maximize how like min max everything, production, shipping. Like I heard a story was like the AI tells the police where to be because a crime is likely to be committed around those areas. So yeah, right now you want to sell the pics to that revolution, right? So Nvidia very well poised, and if they continue to sell, they're going to continue to get market share, and which they are creating pretty much the market share. And then they continue to hold it, and then they'll have the money for investment, which puts them in a position to just keep investing and throwing money at production, like at just continuously producing chips and infrastructure and all that stuff for those software companies to come. They are going to be benefiting us in the next couple of years, but right now you need to build the infrastructure. Whether it works or it doesn't work, the infrastructure is going to be there, and you can use it for pretty much anything. Plus the software and all that stuff too. So if you're looking for, like the Warren Buffett stocks is like Nvidia right now. Yeah, it's looking tasty. Sure. Oh, market stabilizing. I'm so surprised that BNB has not crashed completely. Oh man. Just today. Like just today, the price of BNB was sitting at 272. Right now, it's sitting at 240. 10% drop. 6% drop. From the peak is 10. Insane. Oof. Have a look. Have a look. Let's see if Carlos Mike. One of the G6 members. News. Didn't report on the $5.19. Ooh. Now the question is, I'm surprised that they haven't like frozen funds and everything. Ooh. Question is who can You can still withdraw money from Binance. That is a good thing. Hopefully they don't panic and freak out. Because people are definitely trying to get that done, but I think that they just stopped fiat withdrawals. Which is not a good thing. Man, the market, I swear to God, when something's like meant to happen, everything happens at once. They take advantage. Sanity.
Kate Rooney following that story for us. Kate, what do we know? Hey, Scott, Binance and its CEO plan to strike a plea deal with the DOJ. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. Citing sources familiar with the matter, this is the world's largest crypto exchange. CZ, the CEO, Changpeng Zhao, is expected to plead guilty to violating criminal U.S. anti-money laundering laws. Again, Journal here citing sources. It preserves the company's ability to operate, though. CZ is scheduled, according to the Journal, to appear in a Seattle federal court this afternoon to enter his plea. Binance is owned by Zhao. He's majority owner. He is going to plead guilty here to criminal charges and agree to pay fines of about $4 billion, $4.3 billion, and that includes amounts to settle civil allegations made by regulators. This would allow Zhao to retain his majority ownership of Binance. According to the Journal, he will not have an executive role at the company. I did speak to a source close to the company who says that this has been on the table for years. CZ stepping down has been something that U.S. regulators have been seeking for about 3 years now. The source telling me regulators have been seeking his removal. It ends this years-long investigation by the DOJ. Source also saying that Richard Teng is seen as the heir apparent. He's the head of global markets at Binance. They also told me that $4 billion, it may sound like a lot, it is a drop in the bucket, as they put it, for Binance. They said it's a profitable company. U.S. business is already shut down here, guys, but it is the latest move by regulators in the crypto space after FTX. You've seen them go after Coinbase as well, Kraken this week. But big news about the world's largest crypto chain. Scott, back to you. Okay.
Man. Whew. All right, let's go back to NVIDIA. NVIDIA's, I'm not so worried. I'm not so worried. I think they're going to be okay. I have a feeling they're going to be okay. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but Insanity. Last time the move was crazy. Yo, you're still are you using still interactive brokers, Mike, or not? Sitting at 500, I'm happy there. 495. There was an entry point. Are we buying options for tomorrow? Sell the options that I have right now. Buy a higher strike. Guarantee some profits. Because if we see a 10% drop, that's how much? 10% drop is $50. That makes my options worthless. Oof. And with the time decay, it's done. We want to de-risk. What? Mistakes. This is the interface. This is the interactive brokers interface. You can see. Makes it kind of nice. You can keep up tabs on, well, regular. That's what you can see. The GIA. Trying to take advantage of the wrapper accounts. It's just beneficial. They've been taking a hit lately. I understand, yeah. It's up. Just buying. Say a drop in the bucket. The new revolution. I wonder if their gross margin is going to get affected now that they're producing the unit chip. Be interesting to see. There are many things that can make this go wrong. But this should be coming up. Well, I don't know if this is going to come up. This might take a hit, actually. But the data center, I think, is going to. Because that's.
And seeing Brent crude futures now settle at $82.45 a barrel, which is up 13 cents or 0.16% on the session.
And the SEC is going nuts. They're just trying to get everybody down. Just trying to get their share of the pie, really. What I think. It's definitely what I think, but. Be interesting to see if there's any people investing in Binance. I know for a fact that there are, but eToro is looking quite appealing right now for crypto. But you can't send any crypto. Huh? All right. Yo, any trades, Mike, that you've been looking at? Because you're a value investor. Where do you see value right now? If it's not in because right now, well, that's the thing. Like dividend stocks right now are not looking appealing because of the treasury yields. You can make more money lending to the U.S. government. Facts. You think in crypto? Yeah, crypto is like, crypto's it's a hedge, man. Crypto's a hedge. You play the game like you play cryptos with a little bit of your portfolio and it's high risk, high rewards. If you buy at the right time, you definitely make money. Just don't follow the hype when people are panicking about buying crypto. When your friend that doesn't know about money asks you about crypto, that's when you sell it. You know what I mean? Like when they're like, hey, what do you know anything about NFTs? This non-fungible tokens they're speaking about? That's when you sell it all. Somebody comes and is like, when your cousin comes and is like, hey, do you know what Bitcoin is? You know how to buy Bitcoin, you in the finance world? That's when you're like, nah, I don't know how to do it. And you shouldn't know either, and sell it all. All of it. That's how you make money in crypto. And then you buy when no one's talking about it. When no one's talking about it. Right now, everybody's talking about it, right? Like if you buy right now, it's a great time. You should read it. Like, what do you mean, invest in banks? It's not you know what? Like, thesis and studies and all that stuff. It's how you execute, man. Swear to God. You can do all the analysis and all the things, but if you don't execute, then all that analysis goes to waste. That is the truth, So I think execution. How can you make money out of that and then prove it? No, they're not. Tulips were not better. Tulips were not better. There is actually usability when it comes to crypto. Now it's getting less, you know what I mean? Like now it's becoming easier and easier to transfer money between borders, but before it wasn't. Like before sending money to like Venezuela was a pain in the ass. You know? See, yeah, I like you want to know a currency that's doing better than the Venezuelan bolivar? It's crypto, that's for sure. It's definitely steadier. Doesn't just keep going down. It has held its value somehow. So there's definitely benefit of holding it. Obviously, like there are its risks. That's why you don't put the whole portfolio in it. But allocating a little bit just in the case that it becomes something. And then definitely you used to trade it. I trade it. I like trading it a little bit. Like for example, right now I'm hoping buy the rumor, sell the news. There's a rumor that the ETF might come. When the ETF comes, I'm gonna be selling that shit. I'm not holding it. I'm selling it. Yeah, but neither is tulips. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, there is a set. Like, it's like if tulips were like, okay, this is as many tulips as you can get in a year, but $55. There you go. So like, it's like that's like, what do you have? The question is, what do you have? Like, I don't say go nuts into crypto. It's like the problem with crypto is that it has gotten a bad rep because of everything that's out there, right? Like when you look at stuff like this, right, and then you go in here and then you see stuff like, it's like, okay, Bitcoin, first one, interesting creator. We don't fully understand it. We understand the rules, we understand the white paper, all that stuff, but we don't understand who made it and we don't understand who owns it. Okay. Then you have Ethereum. Okay. Bitcoin with a little bit smarter contracts. And then you have like, okay, BNB. I used to own BNB. I bought BNB at 29 bucks. And then XRP, like sure, but then you start going down the list and then you start seeing, okay, like what is going on, right? Like Dogecoin. What is happening? Who's working in the project? What is the purpose of it? Right? Then you have like all of these different projects that are doing different things, you know, and 1 out of 5 is definitely gonna be like good, but the rest gonna be trash. So that's where you stay with the top, you know. It's like, okay, like what are you trying to do? You're trying to like get returns, or you're trying to like multiply your money, you know. A lot of people are looking for the quick get in, get out, right? But is there a quick get in, get out? I still haven't found it, you know. I'm hoping that NVIDIA is, but that's been like years in the making, you know. Like I've been analyzing NVIDIA way before this, right? So now it's the euphoria. Now this is when you make your money, right? Because you sell the euphoria. You allow for people to come in, and then you sell them the stock. You know, it's like I have a price for what I think NVIDIA is worth. I put NVIDIA worth at like 425. Right now it's sitting at 500. Can it go up if they beat earnings? Yeah, right. Now, if they have great earnings, the underlying value of the stock goes up. So the question is like, am I willing to sell? Yeah, likely. I'll probably sell today. I'll probably sell at the end of the day, just to capitalize and wait. And if I miss the move, I miss the move, right? But at least you capitalize on gains. Yeah, well, it's similar to everything, right? The thing is just like when you're looking in the markets, when you're looking in the stock market, right? Every day there's like buyers and sellers, and today there's more buyers or potentially more sellers of the stock, depending on how the earnings come out, right? If the earnings surprise everybody, and all of a sudden we have like you know, instead of 300% return like growth, we're talking about 4, 5, 600%, then people are going to be like, well, that whatever I thought it was worth is definitely going to be worth more, you know. I think it's overvalued. It's definitely overvalued, but it can grow into that valuation, you know. And it definitely has a lot of eyes on it because every single person today that is in the stock market is paying attention to this stock. Every single person. So that's where it's going to get interesting, right? Because all of a sudden there's not enough flow, right? Like you have long-term holders. Like I think I bought my first stock of NVIDIA at $60. You know what I mean? Insane, you know, because I saw this, you know, because I played games with their thing. You know, it's like with their graphics card, you know. So yeah, it's like you definitely play, right? Like the market is not always right, and sometimes the market puts their eyes too much on one single stock, which is a mistake, you know, because there's definitely underlying value. The question is how you define that, right? I've been like doing the MIT course, the free MIT course from, well, some stock, like not all of my position, right? But some. Like my first ones were 60. Like on eToro, I'm up like 600% on them. Kind of nice. Kind of nice. You know? But then the question is like, am I right? Right? For example, like I made the mistake with Fiverr, right? Like I liked Fiverr stock. I bought Fiverr stock at $35. And then the Fiverr stock during COVID went nuts. Yeah. You can take. So if you, yeah, here. Yeah. But here you can just look at courses that MIT offers. It's like older courses, you know what I mean? Like I'm doing a finance course from 2008, which is fantastic because now you get to see what actually happened with everything, you know? I'm doing the finance. I'm doing this one. I'll tell you which one. Oh, nope. And then, nope. It's finance theory. I think it's finance theory 1. And I'm probably going to do finance theory 2, yeah. And it's free of charge. They'll give you everything. Yeah, so if you see, for example, you have the readings, they'll give you the readings. You can just look that up. Then you have present value, fixed income, equities, forward options, portfolio theory, and all that stuff free of charge. And they have the videos ready for you to go. Like the video lectures, it's like you're in the class, you can't speak, but well, you're not paying for the course. That's okay. But the knowledge is still good, right? It's a master's level course. Like this one, present value stuff, kind of nice, right? Makes a lot of sense when it comes to stocks. Because it's like, okay, like I think NVIDIA stock's it's going to be worth $1,000. Okay. In how long? Well, let's say 2 years. Okay, what's that value today then? Yeah, dude. You didn't know? Damn. Like this is easy stuff. Easy stuff. You know? But yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like all these different things in order to kind of like study, analyze, all that stuff definitely helps out. You know, I want to take the equities one I like, but it's based on cash flows. But then the thing is cash flow, like, you know, it's like dividends because you value, like, what's an asset if not the cash flow that it creates, the cash flow that it generates, right? So this one is interesting. It's cool. I recommend taking all of it. If you want to take it, like I would live to talk to someone about this, but yeah, it's like a little bit complicated, but it's definitely doable, you know. And you're just take your time with it. But yeah, so that's the question. It's like, okay, so if Nvidia is going to be worth X amount, how much am I willing to pay for that stock today, for those like sort of cash flows today, right? That's where it becomes really, really interesting. But yeah. Oh man. Gaming. What was there? Oh, this one. Visualize economics. Oh, look. Try to find. Yeah, dude, for sure. For sure. No, I don't want a chart. I want images. Is that a Q2? Yeah, this was Q2. Yeah, this is Q2. I want to see if they have Q3 actually. Visual capital. But yeah, this one is starting to get really big. This is one of the reasons they're going nuts when it comes to NVIDIA. Is that data center revenue just starting to take everything up. NVIDIA used to be a gaming company. Now they are. now they're now they're a data center company, and next thing you know, boom, AI company. Automotive. They have automotive. They have like software. And this is Q2. Q3. No, Q3 is coming now. This in July. When was the other one? September. October. Visual capitalist. This one is very good too. Like it's insane. Today, Nvidia can move 10%, and like I don't think you can fathom the idea of just like Nvidia can create today, in theory, $100 billion worth of market cap, which is insanity. You know? Yeah. Tesla lost it. Is Tesla sitting on their four? What's Tesla's market cap? Market is flat. There's nothing happening. Like it's good that nothing is happening, but what's Tesla sitting at? 78. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's old.
So seeing from Yonhap here, South Korea says it will take steps to suspend parts of a 2018 inter-Korean deal aimed at lowering
this is it.
military tensions after North Korea's missile
this is-
launch. So again, South Korea taking steps to suspend part of an inter-Korean deal aimed at lowering military tensions following North Korea's missile launch today.
Let's start a competition. Who goes to war next? Is it Taiwan? Is it North Korea? The dominoes start falling. People start freaking out. Oh man. Holy. I think hardboard has one too, but the hardboard one is not as good. Hardboard. They do. Yeah. They all do. The big ones do. So they want to educate. So they'll give you the older courses. Give some prestige. Business and then negotiating sell. Alright. No, we play the waiting game. That's the thing. This is trading. People think it's like, oh no, like let me call this guy, let me do this, blah blah. No, it's like sit down and wait till shit happens. And everybody gets the information, and then you have the bots, and then they take in the initial rally, and if they're correct, you can play that rally. And then you try to buy and sell real quickly and all that stuff, and then try to make your money back. Yeah. FOMC news are coming out. Same thing. We'll wait until we get more information in order. Banana. Oops. Hopefully that works. Good, sir. Oh man. The question is, do we buy more NVIDIA? Insanity. $23 views. Nice. Nice. Look, yeah, that one. Market is healing. It's rallying into the close. People are placing positions. Profit takers are. Oh no, we're actually a little bit down. Oil should be down now. Let's have a look at oil. Oil sitting at 77. That hurts, to say the least. Actually, changed too. Apparently, people are having the link. Oh wow. If anybody would like to add anything, do let me know. If you have any questions, my thoughts, and hopefully it can be of assistance and help. We are currently still waiting. We're an hour away from NVIDIA earnings, so chill, relax, nothing too major. Oh man. Holy. Let's make sure everything's set up and ready to go. So we have similar to a news quack service with the guys at Financial Juice. If you guys are looking for news in your ear ready to go, I recommend them fully. Not paid sponsor. I just like them a lot, but they are fantastic. So they're going to be the ones telling us. They are saying that we should be receiving the NVIDIA earnings at 9:20. So just make sure you come back by around that time. Or you can stay, chill, have a discussion. If you have any questions of any stocks, I'll give you my thoughts. And take it in slowly. How's the music? It shouldn't be too loud, should it? A little bit lower. Just a little bit. 23 views. Maybe let's go. Insane. Year-on-year growth is 452 earnings per share. Wall Street consensus is 2.3, which is not that high. It's less, but last time they beat by a lot. I think Wall Street consensus was 1.93 and they beat by almost a buck. And then we have revenue. You like to compete and try to figure out what they're actually going to get, feel free to sign up to this website. It keeps track of all your things, keeps track of what your prediction was, what the actual was, and all that stuff, and it gives you back data. Good place to know too. Estimize.com. Confidence, not so high. But that's okay. Estimize is saying it's gonna be higher. I think it's gonna be higher. They would have said something otherwise. Beforehand, I think it's gonna be in line. Or potentially in line, I think it's bad news for the stock. Ooh. NVDA guidance, $16 billion. Reporting 47 minutes, they're saying, when it closed. If you're thinking of voting or creating an account and making your predictions, they do give you points, and then you can actually see what you got in, all that stuff. It's kind of nice. My Walmart earnings were so bad. It's like I was doing great, and but I think the Walmart earnings kind of messed me up. My confidence is not too bad. It's pretty high, I would say. But in the last couple, gotten hurt. That's for sure. The rest. All right, everybody. I'm going to be right back. Give me 2. All right. Go to Twitter. They're still talking about it.
An action like that against Gemini.
Did CZ not show
Does
up
it-
fully, guys? Because I'm waiting for this press conference. Did CZ decide to fly back to Dubai? What's going on?
Yeah, it's been delayed by 15 minutes. Goody, still nothing there as well on your end?
Yeah, there's nothing on the DOJ official website, and then on YouTube Live, PBS NewsHour has a Garland and Yellen press conference in 44 minutes from now as well at 4 p.m. EST. So there's both the DOJ one
they've delayed
and
it.
the Garland and Yellen one.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, there's two press
I'm
conferences.
not sure if there's two or if they're the same. There's one on the DOJ site itself, and then there's one on YouTube as well on PBS NewsHour.
Got it. Tom, jump in, and I've got a question for Mike afterwards.
Yeah, sure. So I had a question myself for the legal minds on the call. So how did this come together so quickly? It seems like a $4 billion settlement is pretty sizable. Is that, or is that just me not understanding things?
It wasn't quick. They've been working on it since January, February.
Wow. Okay, so it was just announced now is the reason that it seems so
Correct.
quick. Okay, got it.
Mike, the question I have for you is the Kraken use for a question for you and for Zach. Is that surprising? Because I thought it shouldn't be too surprising considering what the SEC is doing with Coinbase and others, and obviously Binance. But we had some of the panelists in the previous space who were a bit surprised by the announcement. Can you tell us more about what the allegations are and what that means for crypto, if anything? Because I think
the same
did mention
allegations about
commingling of funds, no?
Yeah, the commingling thing, and I think that keeps coming up, right? And there's kind of a spectrum, because all exchanges, if they provide credit, right, if they, as they take in customer capital and as they trade on the exchange, like there's always movement of money from different parts of the exchange to other and between customers and in and out of the exchange. The question is like, did they commingle, like actively commingle the corporate funds with the customer funds in the same way that like an FTX did. And it's really interesting that the former finance guy, the CFO from Kraken, went and became a senior finance guy at Binance. There are some smoking guns in the past related to like compliance issues at Kraken that seemingly were not resolved. I think Kraken is probably not the safest U.S. exchange. Actually, something I've advised some of the companies that I work with, including one of the companies where I sit on the board. I've told them, hey, you need to be really careful with Kraken because I don't think they're taking the rules as seriously as Coinbase does in the US. So I was not surprised by that. I don't think it's going to be nearly as bad. They probably have all the capital, but they probably need to shore up their compliance quite a bit to get on a better standard going forward.
Yeah, and I think when we're talking about the
Zach,
securities law, on the securities law side of things, I think it is not surprising, right? I mean, this is basically exactly what is being alleged happened at Coinbase and Binance. The SEC views most tokens as unregistered securities in the way that they're sold and offered in the United States. I think, given that we've seen this with all of these exchanges, we're likely to see this with Gemini as well. And this is an issue, that we maybe could have solved in 2021 if we'd had crypto legislation. I think the implosion of FTX sort of torpedoed that. And so now we're going to have to get some clarity from the courts. And the story of the next year or two is going to be sort of finally resolving what, the real sort of final battle for crypto in the United States, which is the SEC's interpretation of the Howey test, under which basically everything is being offered as a security. Is that correct? Or are the courts going to come up with some newer understanding that exempts most of what's happening in crypto right now?
I just want to second that real quick, in that the SEC's posture of regulation via enforcement is the reason why Coinbase, Kraken, and some of these other U.S. Quasi-regulated exchanges have had issues. Like, I think all of those exchanges would have been willing to register as an exchange and follow more, prescribed and specific regulation if it was even a pathway that was available to them. I think Binance and FTX and Crypto.com, some of the offshore ones, are totally different animals in that they never tried to. Or
Yo, Mike, if you have to bet, do you think the stock NVIDIA goes up or NVIDIA goes down by close? Well, by earnings.
Two sets of firms.
Yeah, you can
Quick
normally
question.
tell how good someone is at compliance by how hated they are. So if you have a really big fan base for your exchange like Binance, it's probably because you've got a good onboarding experience. You're not shutting down too many accounts. You're being more inclusive, and everyone starts with that philosophy. Then you've got the other extreme, which is Coinbase, where you'll have a lot of hate. You'll have people asking why things are taking so long, why the onboarding experience is so hard, why is funds being frozen, why is tax authorities getting access to my data, and then you have Kraken that kind of sits somewhere in the middle. But eventually, unfortunately, all of these financial institutions become a bank in the end because compliance means every customer hates you.
I think that's a great point. And I think one thing we're likely to see as time progresses, that the way people interact with crypto is either going to be in a hyper regulated forum like Coinbase or whatever Coinbase looks like post all these SEC actions. And once we get some clarity, where, it's incredibly doxed and there's a, huge KYC AML protections in there, or it's going to be like pirate dexes, right? That may or may not align with the laws or whatever, the SEC decides a broker is. There are going to be some people who set up dexes that don't follow those laws. But the middle ground, quasi-compliant, quote from CC about compliance being a journey, I think we're seeing that's on the way out. And that way of operating is not going to be able to persist because law enforcement is not allowed to happen.
Anything, Gary? I'll let you jump in a second. Goody, is there anything else that you're checking the stream? Yeah, just want to make sure, Goody.
Yeah, no, there's nothing yet. I'm keeping an eye on it.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Gary, jump in. Good to have you back.
Hey, man, good to be here. So I pinned up in the nest, and it's just a screenshot of the 32-page charge by the SEC. So if anybody wants to actually look at it more than just one paragraph at a time, it's the entire thread.
And maybe Gary, for anyone that wasn't there when Joe gave an overview, can you give us a quick overview on what's in the indictment, and highlight the main points in your opinion and any points of concern?
I'm really here more to learn and absorb you guys' opinion than put it up there. So I just that's why I didn't make any commentary on my thread. But it's the eight pieces of the 4 pages each screenshot. So that's in the nest for anybody to review. And then the second thing was, I think that Mike had said something about Kraken and also followed up by Simon. That makes sense. My opinion about like the space is, you came into Bitcoin with banking and people running executables on their computer, basically in a decentralized narrative. And I think that that's gone its path for quite some time. Now you see the newish technologies, I guess, of DEXs and other blockchains allowing for basically anything to trade. So the role of a central exchange, I don't know what it should be. I'm trying to gather your collective opinions. What Simon was saying about eventually they all become banks. They all become banks because in order to comply with the bank accounts that can be seized by any government, they have KYC AML rules in place. And I don't know that centralizing and saying that you can trade on a central exchange that also acts as a fiat on ramp and off ramp is the future. I think that separation of those powers is more likely. So, any opinion about what the role of a central exchange is with relation to what people can do with their money, similar to maybe what Visa. You have Visa, you have a bank account, you have a debit card. How are you spending your money? Is it the permission of the Visa or the credit card company or the bank, as far as what you spend your money on?
I think
Simon.
the actual biggest
go ahead.
thing, yeah, I mean, I think the biggest separation that actually needs to happen that's caused the most devastation in this space is the separation between the exchange and the market making and trading function, right? Like if you think about FTX and Alameda, if you think about Binance and
So just taking a look
Binance and Sigma
at
Chain,
some analyst
in both
commentary on
cases,
today's
it's
moves in the
clear
market.
that
So
the
stocks
exchange is
and
sort of,
bonds
and
and the
BitMEX as
dollar
well.
barely
BitMEX is
budged, and
notorious for trading
after
against
the Federal
their own
Reserve's
customers. I'm sure
minutes
Travis can
reiterated
tell
the
you
central
crazy
bank's
stories he's
cautious
heard
approach on
from
interest
big
rates,
traders, but
with traders
that's the
gearing up for
problem in this
Nvidia's
space is all of the
earnings
fake
after the bell.
volume, all of the fake trades that aren't really coming from like a third party who's actually making a trade for an economic reason. Like obviously CZ is really, really good at wash trading and did a really good job of convincing people there's a ton of liquidity on the exchange that candidly never really existed for some of those tokens because it was literally just the customer's own money deposited into Merit Peak and Sigma Chain trading against them. So those two things need to be separated. Like I'm pretty sure Coinbase doesn't run algos, right? Like with their own capital on their own exchange, for example, but like everybody else did for a long time. And that is a big source of a lot of the crazy swings, the volatility in the space, and a lot of the harm that's actually been done to consumers. And that obviously needs to stop, irrespective of what your view is on CZ.
Yeah, I think this is the most important part is actually the stables part. So all financial institutions will be hated, as I said, once you do all those compliance. And so you'll probably have the centralized exchanges dealing with the Bitcoin, ETHs, and stables. And then you'll have regulated securities exchanges that are dealing with all the investment products. But then you've got that interaction with the decentralized world. And the most important thing is if these exchanges and all assets go digitized and eventually it all becomes, regulated within these centralized financial institutions, the most important thing is getting the ability to take these assets from one centralized exchange to another centralized exchange to another decentralized exchange, so that you can just be interoperable, and make sure that we aren't engaging in fractional reserve banking. So if everything's done with stables and then we have good regulatory structures to ensure that those assets are actually backed, then we have a shift towards full reserve banking, which I think is a massive net improvement. And the transparency of when you're going from one exchange to another, having an immutable digital footprint on those blockchains
is the richest guy
and
in
that's where I
the
think
world
it all
from
goes
crypto,
in
and you
the
don't
end,
even know
and
him.
You'll just have
Hi,
the
my name
centralized
is
doing
CZ.
the low risk
He
stuff,
made
and then
over
pushing
into
it out,
crypto,
really,
and I was quitting my job.
depending on its yeah.
I want to go back quickly to the indictment. Joe, if you want to come up and as we prepare for the press conference in about 30
There in
minutes,
6
one or
months
two
in
of
the
them, if
top
anyone
one.
has more clarity, do let us know. But Joe, if you want to come up, and we do have other lawyers. We've got Zach, and we've got obviously Mike, Travis. Who else can give us an overview? Adam, can anyone give us just an overview, give an audience an overview of the indictment and what we know so far? I've sent you an invite, Joe, if you want to come up and give another overview as you did before, just for anyone that wasn't there earlier. Who would like to take that one? Zach, do you want to take that one? Or Adam?
Yeah, in very brief form, the information lays out, which is similar to an indictment. It lays out Binance was operating as a money transmitter, right, which subjects it to the Bank Secrecy Act. Under the Bank Secrecy Act, Binance needed to have an adequate anti-money laundering program in place. They say CZ and Binance willfully chose not to have an adequate money laundering program in place and laid out some evidence as to why DOJ says that, and therefore they violated the law, right? And so this is not saying specifically they were engaged in money laundering, they conspired to engage in money laundering with someone else. This is they willfully did not meet their obligations based on the type of activities they were doing and the requirements that the law sets in place for people who are engaged in those types of activities.
Hey Zach, were they saying, because this is the international, so were they saying international took on US customers and therefore it was meant to be a money transmitter? Or are they treating like the whole thing as one because there was the ability to, funds were basically held and it went across the US exchange and international?
Yeah, so there's jurisdiction in part because they had some US customers, but it really is more about the activities they were engaged in that makes them a money transmitter, right? And a money service business. And basically any crypto exchange is going to meet that definition.
But only if they're taking on US customers. You don't need to be a money transmitter if you're not taking on US customers.
Yeah, although even if US customers are using VPNs to get there, the DOJ is going to have jurisdiction, right? Basically, if the federal prosecutors want to,
that's your AML program. You need to make sure you're not taking on US customers. But if you're not taking on US, then you don't have to be a money transmitter.
Yeah, it also adds that they were willing.
Oh man, what's gonna happen? Hopefully they don't collapse. That would be quite a bit of money. Well, it's the thing is, you can get crypto out of Binance right now. I just did it, so you can get it out.
So looking now to the early market on close end balance, currently sitting at 67 million to the sell side.
All right, 30 minutes before we. Ooh, wait a second. Let me just. Okay. Peak. Already late. Come on, man. This is police. You should be already out there. Speaking of people. What's I gonna say? $30 minutes. The market close, and then we're gonna see. You definitely see a move today. See a move. Oh man. Hillside and balance. Let's do this. Take some notes real quick before the earnings call. What are the expectations that we're looking for? Earnings per share. Wall Street right now. 3. Company made revenue, which is 6. So 16 and just a little bit higher. Just a little bit higher. The tricky thing about the options is I can't get out of them after market. So I have to like let it ride. 27 minutes until market close. Oh ho ho. Speak to ChatGPT. All right, everybody. All right, everybody. Oh man. You can trade eToro. Can eToro trade after hours? That's what eToro needs. You imagine eToro gets options? Oh. Then you get definitely hear people complaining, oh no, where did my money go? Why did I get margin called? Oh, man. When market close, post. Bam.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm joined today by
Oh,
Treasury
they.
Secretary Janet Yellen, Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco, and CFTC Chairman Russ Benham. We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance, and from its founder and CEO, Changpeng Zhao, also known as CZ. Separate from the criminal enforcement actions, the Justice Department is announcing today Secretary Yellen and Chairman Benham will also announce civil regulatory enforcement actions, and the Treasury Department and the are subject to different legal standards. This collective effort represents the whole of government approach that we are taking to combat corporate crime. Binance has agreed to plead guilty to willfully violating the Bank Secrecy Act, knowingly failing to register as a money transmitting business, and willfully violating the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. These laws ensure that our financial institutions are not available to designated terrorist organizations, drug traffickers, and sanctioned nation states that threaten public safety and our national security. The Justice Department is requiring Binance to pay $4.3 billion in penalties and forfeitures. This is one of the largest penalties we have ever obtained from a corporate defendant in a criminal matter. The Justice Department is also imposing a monitorship as well as reporting requirements on Binance as part of today's resolution. Moving forward, Binance must file the suspicious activity reports that were required by law. The company is required to review past transactions and report suspicious activity to federal authorities. This will advance our criminal investigations into malicious cyber activity and terrorism fundraising, including the use of cryptocurrency exchanges to support groups such as Hamas. While this historic plea is an important measure of accountability, we know that corporations only act through the individuals who run them. That is why we have also filed a felony charge against and secured a guilty plea from Changpeng Zhao for willfully violating the Bank Secrecy Act. As CEO of Binance, Zhao willfully violated federal law that requires financial institutions to guard against money laundering and terrorist financing. Zhao, who resides outside of the United States, entered his plea in person in the United States District Court for the Western District of Washington earlier today. In August 2017, Zhao founded Binance as a platform where users could trade in cryptocurrency. But from the very beginning, Zhao and other Binance executives engaged in a deliberate and calculated effort to profit from the U.S. market without implementing the controls that are required by U.S. law. Zhao and Binance attracted and built a substantial U.S. customer
Looking again
base.
now to the early market on
Almost
closing
2
balance,
years
still
after
sitting at
Binance's
67 million
founding,
to the sell side.
Zhao told senior management that the U.S. market represented 20 to 30% of the company's potential revenue. Serving these U.S. customers meant that Binance was a U.S. financial institution. U.S. financial institutions must comply with U.S. law. Zhao and other senior management at Binance understood this. They understood that the company was required by U.S. law to register with the Treasury Department as a money services business. And they understood that they were required by U.S. law to implement an effective anti-money laundering program. They failed to do either. Instead, they concluded that complying with U.S. law would stifle their efforts to grow Binance's profits, market share, and trading volume. So, rather than comply, Binance facilitated billions of dollars of unregulated cryptocurrency transactions. It willfully enabled hundreds of millions of dollars in transactions between American users and users subject to U.S. sanctions. And its platform accommodated criminals across the world who use Binance to move their stolen funds and other criminal proceeds. Binance prioritized its profits over the safety of the American people. In part because of the crimes it committed, Binance became the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. Now, Binance is paying one of the largest corporate penalties in US
$4.3
history.
billion. Oh my
Binance
God.
employees knew and discussed that the company was serving thousands of users in sanctioned countries. And they knew that facilitating transactions between US users and users in sanctioned countries would be in violation of US law. But they did it anyway. Binance enabled nearly $900 million in transactions between US and Iranian users. And it facilitated millions of dollars in transactions between US users and users in Syria and in the Russian-occupied Ukrainian regions of Crimea, Donetsk, and Luhansk. Binance's
Now the question is what are they gonna do? Do
also
they have the money? I
that
think
the
they have the
company's
money. I think they are
anti-money
saying that
laundering
CC
procedures
is
were
worth
adequate
17 bill.
and would attract criminals to the platform. In a February 2019 chat,
But it was so
one
easy to open an account in Binance.
employee
It's
wrote
so
that
easy.
they needed a banner that
Why
said,
would you go to
"Quote,
America? Why would you deal
this
with that? I mean,
wasn't
20 to
rough
30%
money
of the
too
size of the
hard to
business makes
face.
sense, but
Come to Binance. We got cake for you." By failing to comply with
you
US
got
law,
cake for you.
Binance made it easy for criminals to move their stolen funds and illicit proceeds on its exchanges. For example, between August 2017 and April 2022, there were direct transfers of approximately $106 million in Bitcoin to Binance.com wallets from Hydra. Hydra was a popular Russian darknet marketplace frequently utilized by criminals that facilitated the
So
sale
that tells me that they
of
have
goods
money,
and services.
you know?
Binance only stopped processing
Like
Hydra
HSBC does
transactions
this.
in April of 2022.
You know, they got fined a
And the
ton
Justice
too.
Department and our criminal law enforcement
They're still
partners
doing it, you know? It's
seized
like how much money
control
can you
of the Hydra
make money
marketplace
laundering, right? It's
and
like
shut it
you
down.
find that
From February
an account is
2019
dodgy
to
and then you just say,
2022,
okay,
Binance processed more
I'll
than
let you through, but your fees are
$373
higher.
million in deposits and $273 million in withdrawals from Best Mixer. Best Mixer was one of the largest cryptocurrency anonymizing services in the world before it was shut down for money laundering. Binance also did more than just fail to comply with federal law. It pretended to comply. In June 2019, Binance publicly announced that it would block U.S. users from Binance.com and launch a separate U.S. exchange. That exchange, Binance.us, would register with the Treasury Department and serve the U.S. market. Binance blocked some U.S. users on Binance.com and redirected them to the U.S. exchange. At the same time, however, Binance continued to allow some of its most important high-volume U.S. users to remain on the unregistered Binance.com exchange. At the direction of Zhao and other senior leaders at Binance, employees encouraged their high-volume U.S. users to conceal their U.S. connections, including by creating new accounts that obscured their locations. As Zhao himself said in a September 2019
Early
chat,
market on
quote,
closing balance still
"If
sitting
we
at
block
67
US
million
users
to the
from day
sell side.
one, Binance will not be as big as we are today. We would also not have had any U.S. revenue we had for the last 2 years.
By the way, we'll be
Today,
covering NVIDIA earnings
Federal
as
judges
this
for
story
forgiveness
is currently
granted
developing. So it's just having a look because this definitely have impacts to
Over
a
a year
lot of
after
people.
Binance publicly announced that it was blocking U.S. users, an internal monthly company report attributed 16% of its total registered user base to the United States. That was more than any other country on the unregulated Binance.com platform. In the next monthly report, Binance removed the United States label and recategorized U.S. users with the label UNKWN, short for unknown. In October 2020, users labeled as UNKWN represented approximately 17% of Binance's registered user base. Binance and Zhao profited significantly from their violations of federal law. That they are facing accountability for their crimes is due to the extraordinary hard work of the extraordinary public servants at the Department of Justice. I want to thank the Criminal Division's Money Laundering and Asset Recovery Section, the
Damn.
Security Division's Counterintelligence and Export Control Section, and the United States Attorney's Office for the Western District of Washington for their excellent work. I also want to thank Secretary Yellen and her team at the Treasury Department, including IRS
I think
Criminal
that's it,
Investigation,
right?
as well as CFTC Chairman Benham and his team for their extraordinary partnership in this matter. In just the past month, the Justice Department has successfully prosecuted the CEOs of two of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges in two separate criminal cases. The
Putting the
message
hammer down for sure.
using new technology to break the law does not make you a disruptor. It makes you a criminal. This Justice Department has no tolerance for crimes that threaten our economic institutions and undermine public trust in the fairness of those institutions. And we
Wow.
will hold accountable the individuals who commit and profit from them. I'm now pleased to turn the podium over to Secretary Yellen.
You listen to Yellen? Yeah.
Good afternoon. I'm very glad to join Attorney General Garland, Deputy Attorney General Monaco, and CFTC Chairman Benham on such an important occasion. We're here today to announce the Treasury Department's historic action, the largest enforcement action in Treasury's history against Binance, the world's largest virtual currency exchange, for its consistent and egregious violations of U.S. anti-money laundering and sanctions law. Protecting the U.S. financial system, and through that, the global financial system, is core to the Treasury Department's mission. And ever since Binance launched its convertible virtual currency platform, it has knowingly
So Binance
evaded
says we have
the
reached
US
resolution
laws
with
designed
US
to protect
regulators.
these systems. Over more than 3 years, FinCEN, OFAC, and IRS criminal investigation thoroughly investigated key aspects of Binance's activities. Our work revealed that Binance claimed to have
We're about to
the US
change.
market
I understand that this is very important, but we're about to change to potentially just NVIDIA analysis, everybody. So just hold on tight. If you have any questions, shoot them in the chat. Do let me know.
It also had critical
What are your
gaps in
thoughts of the
its
stock?
anti-money laundering
Where do you think we're heading?
program and
Hold the
practices,
stock.
from a lack of risk-based
I'm currently holding
procedures
options
to
and they
failures
are
offerings
holding in
to
value.
instructing staff to withhold
Oh man.
information
Risk-free
from law
trade on
enforcement.
options. Leverage trade,
It
baby.
deliberately undermined its own sanctions monitoring controls
Would
and
still
it
hurt,
failed to report suspicious
but it hurts less.
transactions. This meant Binance was allowing illicit actors to transact freely, supporting activities from child sexual abuse to illegal narcotics to terrorism across more than 100,000 transactions. That includes transactions associated
So just taking a look
with
at the market on
terrorist
closing
groups
balance of today's
like
session, currently sitting at 246 million to the buy side. Just wait for the final orders to come through before we call it.
Islamic Jihad,
10 minutes before market close. Make your trades, everybody. Make
Market on
your
closing balance of
trades.
today's session, 236 million to the buy side.
Fuck it, I'm holding.
Closing balance of today's
It's
session,
gonna hurt so bad.
246 million to
and
buy.
it also allowed over 1.5 million virtual currency trades that violated U.S. sanctions. So, we have taken the largest enforcement action in Treasury's history. FinCEN's settlement agreement assesses a penalty of $3.4 billion. OFAC's settlement agreement assesses a penalty of nearly $1 billion. Binance is also required to report the suspicious transactions it has failed to report to date and to establish an effective anti-money laundering program to support the global AML-CFT regime. And the settlement agreements subject Binance to increased scrutiny for 5 years through a third-party monitor overseen by FinCEN, who will ensure Binance's complete exit from the United States. The monitor will be able to access Binance's systems, transactions, and accounts, and will review and report on all actions included in the settlement agreements.
This is good though.
These obligations could
At least
expose
for
Binance
the
to
exchange.
substantial additional penalties. The result of these agreements will be an end to company behavior that has posed risks to the U.S. financial system.
There was one
US
interesting point that they
citizens, and our country's national security for too long.
she's
And
tiny.
let me be clear.
Hilarious.
We're also sending a
She holds so
message
much power though.
to the virtual currency industry more broadly, today and for the future. If virtual currency exchanges and financial technology firms wish to realize the tremendous benefits of being part of the U.S. financial system and serving U.S. customers, they must play by the rules. And if they do not, the U.S. government will take action. Today's announcement shows the Treasury is prepared to use all of its tools to carry out its crucial mandate of combating illicit finance and protecting the U.S. financial system, and this will make all of us safer. I want to end by thanking FinCEN, OFAC, and IRS criminal investigation employees who play a central role in protecting our national security. Adequate resourcing was critical to carrying out this work. Thank you also to the partner agencies here today for such effective collaboration. And with that, I'll turn the floor over to Deputy Attorney General Monaco.
Thank you, Madam Secretary, and good afternoon. Today is a watershed moment.
All right. NVIDIA earnings. We can worry about Bitcoin positions after the NVIDIA earnings because this can make the market collapse. Ooh. Oh man. Everything happening at once. It's like either you get good news or bad news and everything happens in the same moment. Holy smokes. All right. NVIDIA earnings, ladies and gents. NVIDIA earnings. Revenue is expected to come in at $16 billion plus minus 2%. I think that that's likely to be higher. Gross margins. I have a feeling that they could potentially come in lower. Just personal thoughts, you know. Expenses. We could see it'll be interesting to see what happens with the new sort of like Chinese bans and how they're gonna affect how they're gonna affect the expenses. But yeah, I mean, so far they are so well positioned. Those margins are so juicy right now. Yeah, insanity. The number that we're trying to beat right now is data centers. If we have good data center results, even though other places might have negative effects, that's okay. If gaming comes down but data centers go up, right now everybody's looking at data centers. Right now, if you look at other past earnings, is how the cloud is doing and how all of that side is performing. Same with Amazon, same with Google. I think Google got punished because they missed on I think it was like 3% on their forecast on cloud, which is insanity. You know, so right now data centers is the thing that's driving NVIDIA, and it's going to be driving it until the earnings call, and then in the earnings call we have to see if what they're going to say, because one little tiny mistake, talking about supply chains, talking about production timelines, we're talking about future orders, wow, we can see the stock. Like right now, there are so many mines down the path that we have to follow, and we're gonna be working. Ooh, it's gonna be a narrow path, and it's gonna be a scary one for sure. Because I believe that they're gonna beat. They would have said something if there were gonna be major impacts to the stock value a couple of weeks ago, maybe, but nothing has come out. So they're definitely they're gonna meet expectations. The question is, if they meet expectations, is that a good thing? Because right now the stock, I do believe that it's overvalued. Now, gaming is going okay. You know, it's like I think it is up quarter to quarter, but I think it's been coming down recently. And right now, I don't think it's the baby of NVIDIA. I think the important thing right now has to do with potentially their software, but that's not even going to generate a lot. But it's their chips. That's it. That is what's driving it. No, no, no. Well, I'm a no. I'm not betting that the stock's going to come down. I'm still in it. So I'm still holding a position betting on the upside. I believe that short terms stock's going to rally. I think that they're going to beat estimates and forecast is going to be okay. Those are my predictions, right? But I think if we look at how the stock rallied last time they had earnings, we saw a massive boom from 420 to 525, and then we saw the stock sell off the next day and the next following days, right? Because the thing is right now, the value of the stock, if you look at the stock in terms of its value, I think it's definitely overbought. Overvalued. Because we don't have the earnings. But if all of a sudden we get the earnings to back it up, boom, the stock's going to rally. But there's a lot of eyes in this, right? So you have to think, what is the float of the stock? How much stock are you able to buy on a daily basis? And right now you have the long-term holders that are holding the stock. You have investors and you have people that are crazily in love with this stock. You know, this is the Tesla, this is the Apple back in the day, this is Microsoft back in the day, you know. So it's like this is the new baby that's coming in, and it has the tools to be an insane story. But everybody's looking at this. This is NVIDIA, and this is the stock market. You know, it's like right now NVIDIA is holding that balance. So the question is like, we could see the stock move 10% up, 10% down today easily, just because of how many people are going to be looking at this stock. You know, I think like if we go, yeah, I think I was showing before. So if we go NVIDIA and we go, let's look at the weekly candles, right? So it's like, this is where we were before. I think this was the August, September. I think it was around here. And I think it was like bam, bam, you know? So 525 and then boom, back down. You know what I mean? In the same week. So that's what it's going to be driving the stock. Right now, there are so many traders in the stock. There is like, you got traders, you got investors, you got hedge funds, you got everybody looking at the stock just to see how the whole overall market's going to be performing. You know, like the AI story is it's carried out by NVIDIA, right? It's the gold harvest or whatever. And who's selling the pigs? NVIDIA is selling the pigs, right? But if all of a sudden the pigs are not selling, then why are we going to be buying the gold right now? Is this the right point? Is this the right place? So that's where we have to potentially see. So, but I think the stock's going to rally, right? I think we're going to beat expectations. And I think right after market, stock rallies. The question is what they say in the outlook, and then what they say coming into the earnings call. And that's going to be the key, because anything with China drives the stock down. Oh, we see major impacts coming in, drives the stock down. Because right now the whole stock is priced at current levels because of how beautifully how beautifully set the story is, right? It's like, oh, we're just gonna keep growing at 200% every quarter, and that's gonna be fantastic. So every year we're growing at 200% to 300% to 400%, right? Which it proved that it could, you know what I mean? The question is, can it keep it up, and can they say that they're gonna keep it up, right? I think Jensen he's the outlook that they say is always a little bit mild. I don't think that they want to overshoot it. They want to undershoot it, and then they want to come into the earnings saying, "Oh, we beat expectations," because everybody's buying. They do have a backlog of orders on their data center chips that goes ages behind. Right? So Microsoft is buying, Amazon is buying, Google is buying, all the big names are buying, and then you have all of the additional. So that's the thing. Potentially, like, I'm not gonna lie, right after earnings, Like I am thinking of selling part of my position right after. So my trade just got locked in. So I'm trading options and I'm trading stock, you know? So it's like I am thinking that potentially we could see the stock rally. Euphoria comes in, everybody sees the numbers, everybody panics, we see the stock go up, and then everybody gets in. But I could be wrong, right? Like, don't take this as a financial advice. I could be wrong. That's what I think, and that's what I'm trading for, right? That's why I have a position in stocks that I can sell right away, and then I have options that I'm like gambling, but my trade was already sort of like beforehand, right? So when the options trade, I'm risk free. I already paid for my initial trade because I bought great. I bought at 400. So I've definitely rallied up as it
Canada
comes, right?
updates and sees the 2024 to 2025 deficit of 38.4 billion Canadian dollars versus 35 billion Canadian dollars in March. Sees the 2025-2026 deficit of 38.3 billion Canadian dollars versus 26.8 billion Canadian dollars. Sees the 2026 to 2027 deficit.
By the way, how can you hear the guy in my ear? Because they are the ones that are going to be reading out the stock. You're going to see the stock move, and then you're going to see the results coming out from them, and then you're going to see me trying to find the results.
8 billion Canadian dollars versus 14 billion Canadian dollars. So Canada updates and sees their real GDP
Let's do
growth
an
of
audio check right
0.4%
now before make
in
sure that everybody can
2024
hear this guy,
versus
because he's the one going to
1.5%
be
in March,
telling us what's
2.2%
right
in
from wrong.
2025 versus the 2.3% previously seen, 2.4% in 2026 versus the 2.2%, and 2.2% in 2027 versus the 1.9% previously seen.
Stock is rallying. Did the same thing last time. It rallied into the close, and then
sees their 2023 to 2024 federal debt to GDP ratio of 42.4% versus the 43.5% seen in March.
there was a lot of buying at the close.
Federal debt to GDP ratio of 42.
Decent buying at the close over
3.2% previously seen.
over $500 million of stocks being bought at the close. All right, let's have a look. This, guys, will read it out loud. Sure that I have the.
So Canada's fiscal update sees the 2023 to 2024 deficit.
So the expected results that we're looking for right now is 2.3 earnings per share.
1 billion Canadian dollars in March.
Man, if NVIDIA drops, like the thing is like if you look at how NVIDIA has been behaving, it has followed the market trend, right? So as the market is freaking out, oh, we're going into another recession, everything, and the final story was like, oh, the chips are not doing great, everything started coming down. And then all of a sudden, what do you see? You see the stock sort of rallying again because everybody wants to get into like sort of like safety. And right now, the growth story that NVIDIA has does provide a lot of safety in idea, right? The question is can they keep that growth? You know? Because it's a company that's worth I think right now at 500, it's sitting at $1.2 trillion. Right? So it's like, if it goes up by 10% today, it's $102 billion worth of market capitalization that is created like that. You know? So they have to keep that story. You know, like why the Magnificent Seven have kept their value? Because the Magnificent Seven, their earnings are great, their revenue is increasing, they are massive stocks, but they're continue to make the racking in the capital, right? Why are other stocks coming down? Because yeah, like Walmart it's a fantastic story. It makes a lot of money selling products, but they're not growing as Microsoft has the potential to grow with the AI and Copilot. Google potentially with everything that they have and the access that they have with all those people. Same. You know, Amazon already, like everything that happens in the back end of Amazon with AI just becomes better. So yeah, like if NVIDIA drops right now, it's like, okay, you have to say like what is your prediction, right? Like what is the value of the stock? I value the stock right now based on the earnings and the forecast around 425. So I think that's a decent price to buy in and get in. Right? But if they all of a sudden they beat expectations and they beat the outlook and the outlook is even higher, then the price has to come up because the value at the end of the road is higher. So that is the question. The question is what do you believe it can happen? You know? But I think potentially it all depends on the outlook today. And it all like, but if they beat, stock's gonna rally and then it's gonna dump. You know? If you're looking for some knowledge and some idea on how to price stuff, the MIT Open Courseware is free of charge, and you can take the finance theory. I'll put the link in the chat so you can like take it and then you can learn it and then do it on your own time and then learn it and then come back here and teach me some stuff because I'm doing it as well at the moment, right? But it's like it tells you how to value stops, how to value options based on what are the factors that you're defining for the stock to be, you know. It's like at the end of the day, you're putting money in now because you can get money later, but how much money do you want is the question that you have to answer too. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We are 13 minutes away according to my sources. So, earnings per share is $2.93. And then we're looking at a revenue estimate of 16 billions as said by the company, but 16.191 billion as said by as Wall Street expectations. I'm thinking it's going to be a lot higher. That's what it was last time, you know. But I could be wrong. So don't make decisions based on what I'm telling you. Do your own research and then incorporate whatever I'm telling you into your own analysis. No worries, man. Like it's a scary one, you know, because the thing is like usually you want to get in when you want to get out when everybody's starting to get in, right? But I think we're still very early because the AI story is still not fully there. People do, like if you still ask, like not everybody knows what ChatGPT or has even used ChatGPT or AI or have a Every time I see this stock move, I panic. Okay. Because it's gonna come out and you're gonna see the move quick, you know? So what we're looking at is the middle chart. One there. Middle chart is the one of NVIDIA. This tells you the price. This tells you what's happening right now. Because we're after hours, the volume gets way reduced. You know, but there was a lot of, I'm telling you, there was a lot of buying into the close. So there's somebody so knows something or, but yeah. Oh man. But yeah, Nvidia was one of my first stocks ever. So it's like I have a dear place for it, but at the same time, you've got no idea. Like I'm gonna panic. Like the moment I hear those numbers and I match them out with my buck, it's like I have to make decisions quick. I either have to get out of the stock or I have to stay in the stock. For example, I don't like the fact that the S&P is selling into after hours. I don't like that the Qs are selling into coming down. It's not a lot. It's not major, but it's still movement, right? There's also the Bitcoin issues that we're currently having. So let's just make sure that this is running. By the way, just confirm if you guys can that you're hearing the guy on my speakers. He does not speaking now, but he's the one that's saying. So the numbers that you're looking for is earnings per share at $2.93. And then we're looking at revenue 16 bill. Higher than 16 bill is great. And then we're looking at data center revenue to come in hot, baby. That's what we're looking for right now. Oh. The thing is just like, yeah, like I have an options position that is leveraged 100x. And that one, if it goes against me, can like if the stock goes down by 10%, it pretty much empties my position. So I'm betting the stock's gonna go up, you know. I want the stock to go up, you know. But I don't decide what the stock does. The market does, right? Whenever we see the results. Whew.
So in just under 10 minutes time now at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time, NVIDIA expect to release Q3 2023 earnings, estimated EPS of $3.37 with an estimated revenue of $16.09 billion.
All right. By the way, if you're enjoying the stream and you find something helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We do stream from time to time, trying to beat some knowledge, and I try to post on eToro as much as I can. It's not my main portfolio, but it is a portfolio that I currently own. Oh man. All right. Oof. But yeah, we have a podcast. I have a podcast with my sister called Scotch and Stocks, the reason for the channel. And yeah, personal finance, all that stuff. Feel free. You know the rest. But yeah. Oh my goodness. Last time it was insane. Like if you look at my reaction last time, the jump that it did, it was crazy. I think and the thing is just like we are sitting right now at the prices that we reached when earnings came out last time. So the fact that it went down to 400 again after the earnings had beat in such a manner was outrageous. You know, was outrageous. You know, it's like everybody's just like, oh, the recession is gonna happen. Oh fuck. Like that's not a lot for Nvidia. That is not a massive move, but it makes it look massive because of the time frame. You know. Oh, dude. I might not read chat when this starts happening because I'm gonna go right into the try to get my hands into the press release, into the earnings as fast as possible because you need to read, like you need to know what's happening because China. So the big things that we're looking for is like China's gonna be okay. There is enough demand to meet the current supply that we have, and there is no major supply constraints that are affecting the stock and the production of the chips. The geopolitics is not actually affecting, production. That would be great too. You know, and who knows if this goes well? So I'll buy a freaking leather jacket and I'll wear it. I swear to God, next chat. I swear. I swear. Oh man. Right now, I still haven't, gotten that chicken dinner. But yes, there is movement in the stock, which is a good thing. You know, right now people are paying attention to it. There's traders right now that are trading the stock easily. We're gonna see either the earnings here or the earnings told in my ear, or we're gonna see the. Oof. We are 7 minutes away from the earnings. If you have any questions, shoot them down below. I'll try to answer them to the best I can. I might just like, if they start speaking, I'm gonna stop paying attention. So, ooh. But yeah, NVIDIA. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't smoke anymore. I quit smoking a while back, but you know. But yeah. Oof. The thing is just like, look, like long term, I do see the stock like being extremely well placed, right? We're talking about I think the closest competitor right now is AMD. And AMD is hoping to get next year $2 billion worth of chips. Nvidia is potentially looking at 15 the next year. 50 bill. And then what happens with that 50 bill? It's not going to be spent in hookers and cocaine. It's going to be spent on what? It's going to be spent on making more chips. And they're going to have such a dominant stance in the industry that it's just the question is how much. It's like, okay, like let's look. The computer allowed for ideas and computing to be passed from your brain into like this processing machine, right? And then the phone allowed for connectivity and communication to be improved who knows how many times. And then all of a sudden you have Nvidia, which is creating the real estate for the next laborer. It's like the AI the next you pretty much like can create if the only thing that stops you is the server sizes, but you are creating people. ChatGPT is a person, low level employee, medium level employee. It depends on the person sitting on the computer and what you can extract from that software. Like a person that knows how to code can use ChatGPT to increase their productivity. A university student can increase their productivity in writing essays like that. So I do see the long-term like story. The question is who is going to be competing because there's so much money being dumped into this. But the fact is people need to be investing into this, and who are they giving the money to? Nvidia. Oh.
Taking a look at the market wrap for the US session today, stocks, bonds, and the dollar barely budged after the Federal Reserve minutes reiterated the central bank's cautious approach on interest rates, with traders gearing up for Nvidia's results coming up in just under 5 minutes' time. The S&P 500 edged lower after hitting the quote-unquote overbought levels, and the Nasdaq 100 underperformed the indices. As earnings season winds down, question on the sustainability of the advance led by the Big Seven group of mega caps has resurfaced, with Nvidia declining from a record. The bar was set high for the world's most valued chipmaker, whose shares have more than tripled this year, leaving little room for error. So some $6 trillion in market capitalization has been added to US equity benchmarks in 2023 in a rally fueled by AI, corporate America's resilience, and the bets that the Fed will pivot to rate cuts next year. The gains left the index about 5% away from reclaiming its all-time highs. So again, around 4 minutes time now when NVIDIA is expected to release their Q3 2023 earnings. Just to reiterate their
4
estimates,
minutos.
EPS
4
estimates
minutes.
at $3.37, with the revenue estimate at $16.09 billion.
What they say? Have him up. I need to. Oh man. $6 trillion have been added to the market capitalization of the US. Oof. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to receive the results. Again, the numbers that we want to hear beaten are 2.93, higher than expected. 16x higher than expected. If we touch 17, that would be nuts. That would be nuts. Thing is like the backlog right now that they have is the thing that sort of calms me down. Because it's like, okay, China cannot order. So what are they going to do? They're just going to sell it to someone else down the line. The list is so long right now. Everybody wants it. And some people will figure out a way. Like whenever there's a, like, you know, it's like when you, they've been trying to kill weed and cocaine for a really long time. I'm sure they can get the chips in. They're harder to conceal, but they're going to get it. They're going to get it. Oh, man. But yeah. This will be interesting. Hopefully, stock bounces and it stays because there's going to be a lot of traders that are going to be trying to get out. I mean, like, look at the stock. Look at this. Look at the hourly. Like, it's 6. The start of the month was sitting at 445. You know, it's like look at that. It's pretty much straight up. 25% up in the last month. All right, we are 2 minutes away. Let the games begin, ladies and gents. Let the games begin. 1 minute. Ha ha. Ha ha. Alright, F5. Maybe they pushed it early.
So it should be around 1 minute now to expect NVIDIA's Q3 2023 earnings. Again, estimated EPS seen at $3.37. Estimated revenues at $16.09 billion. Should be just under 1 minute's time.
327? 327 expected? Really? Damn. Sorry, guys. My numbers might have been wrong. They tend to be right, but yeah, they tend to be better than me when it comes to that. So we're looking for 3.27, which is a lot higher, but sweet. But alright. Let the games begin. 10 seconds. This is either we make money or we lose money. Let the roll. Are you ready to rumble?
10 seconds.
What do you mean 10 seconds? Oh, you're gonna see a move.
Still no sign of the NVIDIA earnings print.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seeing NVIDIA earnings coming through
Boom!
now. Adjusted EPS
That's good.
is a beat at $4.02, an estimate of $3.36.
Let's go!
Revenue a beat at $18.12 billion on estimate of $16.09 billion. So automotive revenues are a slight miss at $261 million, an estimate of $266 million. Adjusted gross margin is a beat at 75% on estimates of 72.5%. Data center revenue a beat as well at $14.51 billion, an estimate of $12.82 billion.
Stock doesn't know where it wants to
Gaming
go.
revenue, slight miss at beat at $2.86 billion on estimates of $2.7 billion.
18 billion and you're coming
So
off?
NVIDIA do note that their revenue is expected at $20 billion plus or minus 2%. So again, to recap there,
The outlook is going to be
beat at $4.02, an estimate of $3.36. revenue. Also beat at $18.12 billion on estimates of $16.09 billion.
Give me the earnings. Come
Noting NVIDIA
on.
shares falling 3% following their earnings report there.
Ooh, that hurts. That means the outlook is not good. That means the outlook is not good. Like, fuck. 18 billion? They beat by so much. Who's selling into the close? This is interesting. Ha ha ha. Okay, gimme. Come on. Come on. It's got to be interesting because we could see the market get it wrong this time. And then we could see the bounce back. Or maybe I'm wrong, and then we're going to see a bounce. This is super interesting, though. 66 cents. That's solid. 402. Nuts.
So again, markets not digesting this NVIDIA earnings print well, seeing the S&P and NASDAQ falling in post-market trade following NVIDIA's earnings report there.
It's weird.
So we see beats on the major metrics there. So one of the minor misses that we did see was their automotive revenue, which was off by around $5 million from estimates.
Which makes sense, but that's normal.
Reiterating their forward guidance, so it is an upgrade from the prior. They see their Q4 revenue at $20 billion, plus or minus just 2%. Prior estimates saw $17.9 billion. So again, that's $20 billion. Q4
I need to see. I need to get my hands on this.
$17.9 billion.
Crazy. Yeah, this is what happens on earnings because that maybe was priced in. It could happen, but I think they're wrong.
Around 2.4% in post-market trade here following this earnings print.
Financial results. What? Give me the news, NVIDIA. Come on, update your website. We are bouncing, but the question is outlook. Oof. Maybe they get the initial people to get selling and then potentially we buy back in, but okay. So the estimate is going to be 17 bill. It's actually what was the no, revenues. It's actually higher. Look at this. All right. Interesting. Very, very interesting. We could see a rally tomorrow too, though. The numbers are great. Let's see what they say. Because like this is like buy the rumors, sell the news for sure. You buy the rumors that they're gonna do better, and then as soon as they did better, they sold it, which is weird.
Will be offset by growth in other regions.
Okay, the decline of China is gonna get offset.
NVIDIA falling in post-market trade after failing to meet investors' lofty expectations. So NVIDIA, being the world's largest value chip maker, slipped in extended trading after its latest forecast failed to meet the sky-high expectation of investors betting on a boom in AI computing.
This is interesting. This is very, very interesting. I need to get my hands on those. That's the relation.
So keep in mind, in 5 minutes' time now, at the bottom of the hour, we're expecting the US API stock change numbers for the week. So the crude oil stock change has a forecast of 1.467 million on the prior 1.335 million. US API Cushing stock change, so a prior.
All right, let's look at the outlook.
6 million. Distiller stock change, a prior of minus 1.022 million. Gasoline stock change, a prior of 0.195 million.
You know what it is? They are super mild in their expectations because they want to beat him. But oh my god, like we're talking about like it's 18. They guided at 16 bill. So I think the market right now is taking this as a sign of danger when in reality it shouldn't be at all. Because it's like, yeah, you also beat by 2 fucking billion. Like 2 billion. 2 billion. You know? Gross margins expected to be at 74. 14 billion in data centers. which is nuts. It's so nuts, you know. Gaming is up, but it was down from the after the COVID pandemic, so this is decent. I think automotive didn't do as much, but that's fine because I mean, like all of the automotive companies are having issues. It's gonna be interesting to see what they say. Let's have.
So some more commentary and context in NVIDIA's earnings report here. So NVIDIA say that the sales to China and other affected destinations derived from products that are now subject to licensing requirements have consistently contributed to approximately 20 to 25% of data revenue over the past few quarters.
Yeah, so you
They
see,
say they expect their sales to these destinations will decline significantly in the fourth quarter of fiscal next year, though they believe the decline will be more than offset by strong growth in other regions. So again, NVIDIA just noting here revenue. They're seeing a Q4 China impact from licensing requirements, which are being affected by US regulations in the area.
Ugh. It's an interesting one for sure, you know. Like, it's an interesting one for sure. Thing is like expectations are so high on Nvidia right now that it's like every little thing it's used. But like that was traders potentially buying in and then seeing the weakness, but then we're rallying right back. Like it's getting bought up. Unless something major happens, we're back. We're back at pre-release, and we had great. This was a great earnings result. So I don't know. Insanity. But like it was massive. It was massive. We're talking like my expectations for this. I'll tell you what. Interestingly enough, it's getting it all back. So I'm guessing it was just like, you know, you got like that initial shock of just being like, what? What do you mean? And then all of a sudden it's like we're talking like 20 billion a quarter. Like, man, I don't. Bro, if like anybody that tells you they understand the market, they don't. They don't. Man. Now I'm stuck in my options position until tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But so far, I mean, like, they're valued right.
So we're surely expecting the results of the US API stock change numbers. So we do get this information via public sources. It's released to API subscribers at the bottom of the hour. We'll be getting this data via public sources on social media as soon as it's made available to us.
So the 16 billion was what NVIDIA last quarter in the last revenues said that they were going to do this quarter. 16. They came back in a quarter. That's in 3 months. So in 3 months, they generated $16 billion worth of revenue. Money coming into the company. Okay? 3 months. Instead of doing 16, 18. I think market panic. I think market panicked. They saw that it was a slowdown in China because it takes about 25% of the revenue. So they saw the slowdown in China and market panicked. And the fact that potentially every single person that bought here tried to get out and they were like, "Oh no, this is going the wrong way," and it just collapses back down, right? So you got like right now, like here, like at the market close, you had 1.3 million stocks traded. So that's traders, that's a lot of people, you know. So and people got the results. Maybe they were not happy with whatever they saw in the outlook. And then they were like, you know what? Sell it. Massive selling, which is not a lot when you think about it. It's like only like what 500, like half a mil worth of stock got sold. And because it's after hours, it will affect the price massively, right? So it's like all of a sudden in the after hours, because volume is so low, you can move the price faster, right? So the 16 billion. So they said they were going to do $16 billion worth of revenue, money coming into the company, but they generated 18 billion, according to this. Oh, 100%. The thing is you have, so for NVIDIA, you have the ban of AI chips to China, which is like the second biggest economy in the world. But that's okay because you have the transition from China to the rest of the world taking over AI, right? So that just like boosts them up. And they're sort of like playing sort of tricks and stuff in order to kind of get chips over there, but whatever. China's still a massive issue, you know? They're moving the stock like there's no tomorrow. People are getting out. There's a couple of traders that are getting out of the stock. They didn't like what they hear. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Everybody hurts. But yeah, so that's the thing, right? So it's like you have China, you have like this sort of like the economic crisis that's going on, the macro, the geopolitics, all that stuff, right? All that stuff has an impact, right? The question is how much. It really didn't have an impact yet, but it's also like NVIDIA is just like has a backlog of orders. They just can just orders. So yeah, 16 billion, they made 18. Insanity, right? So it's like if we go like, let me just go to estimates. I'll show you what the chart is and what people were expecting. It's just, yeah, everybody's also paying attention to this, so maybe it was priced in. Market priced it in, or maybe the traders right now priced it in. But I bet you tomorrow we get a rally. That's what I think. I think it's going to be the opposite of what happened last time, because right now there's really nothing sort of like pumping. But yeah, so here it's like, look, like my expectations were 329. So in guy with Wall Street, right? And then all of a sudden we're talking about 4, so we are probably like here. So sorry, here. So look at the growth that it's just suddenly at, like starting last year. Bam, bam, bam. Insane. It's insane. And then all of a sudden we're here, you know, it's like, yeah, it's insane. The numbers are fantastic. It just didn't move, which makes sense, but it can all, that's the thing about markets. It all can happen, right? Like you can have an idea, you might have an edge, might have a possibility of getting it right, and you might still be wrong. Right? And then all of a sudden it's like they're expecting, so it's like my next year, so I'll edit. And it's like they're probably gonna hit the 4. They did. Dang. Wait a second, I can't change that. No, that's next. Yeah, mine was 320. Insane. Like I was expecting this quarter coming up to be the one that they're making. They're putting so much money into this, right? So it's like 410. And then we're gonna go revenue, right? It's like they were expecting 16, they did 18. I got it right. So this is like on point. Because they like it's like who's buying? Big companies. Big companies don't care. Microsoft doesn't care if they have to invest X. Like how much cash does I think Apple had how much in cash, you know? Like 100 bill? Insanity. A little bit more than that. So it's like, what do you think? It's like, oh, I need to make sure I'm ahead of everybody else to make sure that I can make the revenue from AI. And I need to put what, 10 bill? Sure. 20 bill? Sure. Insane. Oof. Oh man. Yeah, it was insane results. I didn't think they were gonna beat by that much. I want my score because I definitely hit it on the dot. I'm actually low on the EPS, but they're making so much bank, bro. They're making so much bank, and then they're just gonna continue developing AI chips and infrastructure, and just continue to buy other companies. Like they almost bought ARM. What's ARM at? Insanity. And I'm so surprised that NVIDIA has not like touched 500. That's insanity. 490s? That's crazy. We could see it come down again. That's for sure. But if it comes down again, you buy it more. Like just buy, put in your buy orders, and if they hit, they hit. Like I had a buy order of 400. I'm happy. You know what I mean? I'm making money. I'm making bank. Yeah. So they have the CUDA infrastructure, which is like their software mode. It's like, yeah, they have the chips, but they also have the software that goes hand in hand. And then they have like the cables that connect the servers at high speed. So it's like earnings per share. The earnings per share was 4. 8 to kill my notifications. But yeah, it's like, I mean, it's great earnings. It's great earnings. Based on what they predicted, it's fantastic. We're probably gonna see, maybe we see a rally tomorrow. What's happening tomorrow? Let's have a look. Because that's the thing. The market is not just like one company. It's like everything. Like I'm shocked by this. I'm shocked that we're not sitting at 525. I'm shocked. 525, 550. ARM sitting at 58. The VIX low. Seeing so much money. Now the question is what they're gonna say in the earnings calls. Like their estimate for Q4 was 18 bill. They are forecasting 20 with the China cartels. That tells you. I don't know. I might be wrong. But I'm staying in the stock. I'm not glad I didn't sell my options. But what can you do? You trade what you get. Instead of lose 10%. How much is that? 20% down on the options. That hurts. But well, take it one step at a time. But yeah, the EPS was 4. They're a quarter ahead. Just a quarter ahead. That's it. All right. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you for staying. Don't forget to hit that like. Subscribe if you want to get more knowledge. Follow me in eToro if that's how you find me. I post on a regular basis whatever my thoughts are on the market. And I stream from time to time too. Kind of glad. 81 views. Happy. But yeah. Insanity. Thank you very much for... What do you mean do nothing? Right now, it's like, yeah, right now just hold them. I think markets, like, depending on what they say, as long as there's no major red flags in the they could be waiting for their earnings call.
Seeing the release of the US API stock change numbers, crude's a build of 9.05 million, 9.05 million. That is higher than the expected build of 1.467 million. Inventories of crude in Cushing at 0.64 million, so that's a build of 0.64 million. Diesel a draw of 3.51 million, draw 3.51 million. Gasoline a draw as well of 1.79 million, draw of 1.79 million.
You guys are a ray of sunshine, never change. I am gonna. I should listen to the earnings. Oof. Let's have a look. Let me. Ah, man. Like, all money's gonna love this. All money's gonna love this. Tomorrow people are gonna wake up and they're gonna be like, "Oh, it's Thanksgiving. Is it Thanksgiving tomorrow? I think it's Thanksgiving Thursday. It's gonna be Thanksgiving on Thursday." The American are gonna be like, "Yeah, you know what? And this NVDA company Let's buy some this NVIDIA company. Expensive. NVIDIA's market cap is that's $1.234 trillion.
So further commentary from NVIDIA, who add that their competitive position has been harmed due to export rules.
What are they speaking? Do they have the live now? One second. Okay. That's Hmm. Let's add it to the live. Damn, they're speaking now, maybe? All right, it's a minute away. Should I do the live? Oh, I have to. I have to. I cannot go party because I'm not making money. I cannot go party. If it was at 5:50, I leave because the money's already made. But no, no. God damn it. Meh. Sí, comprar unos dulcitos. Oh, look. 1 minute away. 495. It doesn't want to beat the 500. Insane. Such good results though. 18 billion. Like whatever we're forecasting, we're doing better. But you know what? I'm telling you, it's overvalued. It's overvalued. Nvidia is overvalued. Based on current results, it's overvalued. Can it get there? It can. I believe that it can. Not there yet. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Oh man. "14 seconds. You see, no leather jacket, mister. No leather jacket. Bye. Hello, everybody. Nice. Made it to 115. Sick. Famous. Oh man. Great. Thanks for the subs, guys. Right, let's see what Mr. Jensen has to say. Just be like, China is not that big of a deal. We're making bank. We're gonna continue to make bank. There's $14 trillion potentially that we can have. We're gonna continue making bank. Believe. It's okay. You should buy my stock. That'd be great. That would be fantastic. Oh man. I know. Mm. Now the big thing also is cryptocurrencies right now. This is the next big issue. This is gonna be a big deal tomorrow. See this? Gonna be red. This one, more red. Red, red, red. Should I buy BNB? Buy some options on BNB? I mean, I can't. Well, her result, but yeah, we're still selling 20 billion, which makes NVIDIA have an expected return year on year if they can keep up the same returns on each quarter of $80 billion next year. $80 billion. Like, yeah, of revenue. It's just a little bit, you know. Insane. And that's not accounting for any growth. Well, oh man. Insane in the membrane. I was very happy with the results. I was extremely happy with the results, I must say. And the stock did, you know, how it rallied for a little bit, 510, and then bloop, falls down. That's how it works. That's how it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles. Oh, they're late? What's the deal here? We're gonna see the pump of the year, boys and girls. I don't know if I have any girls watching me, but whoa. It's taking too long. Just 5:15. 5:25, 5:30, 5:35, 5:40. I sell. Selling stock. Selling stock. Who wants to buy? I have NVIDIA paper. NVIDIA paper. Oh man. Fantastic. Oh man. That's what my sister is a girl. My girlfriend's the girl. They come watch every now and then. Oh, they're investors for sure. Watching me? Eh. Let's have a look at something. Yeah, sure. Earnings here. Oh. It is at all-time highs, NVIDIA, sort of. Well, we have content. We have podcasts that we've done, so feel free to watch that. Shameless plug. This video is sponsored by Scotch and Stocks, an investing and personal finance podcast run by two brothers, two siblings, I guess. Mm. Oh, I can add. How do you? What's the button? It's not good. See, when I stop paying for the my this, look what they have to say. The trading view charts are 70% off. It was great earning. What the fuck happened with the call, dude? Are they for real? What's up? Um,
to co-pilots and committed to OpenAI and SAM, and that's irrespective of what configuration.
Oh man. Man, I might step out. 90 views. I'm happy. I'm happy. Dude, I'm so mad. What's this? Whenever you think you figure out markets, you don't figure out nothing. So mad. All right, boys. I think I'm gonna step out. Watch it on my time. I'll give a resume. I'll resume it. Resume. I'll summarize whatever comes out in the earnings call, but I guess the price will tell us. Ray. God damn it. We bought options. Price was still posted on nuts. We'll see. All right. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for the love. Peace out.